I am glad because you out here are not just complaining. A lot of you have been involved in what is happening in the country, not just as candidates, but by holding discussions and trying to influence through your friends and families what goes on at home. And we are saying as Kenyans, the time for complaining is over. Whatever mess is in our country, we have either contributed directly or indirectly, because even acquiescing and not fighting it is contributing. Therefore, we need to join hands, all Kenyans of goodwill, to make sure that we turn around our country, to make sure our country is what we want it to be. I keep on asking myself, why are so many of you out here? And there are two reasons. Quite a number come to study, meaning that a lot of parents and even students feel that there are better opportunities for furthering their education out here than at home. Others feel there are better opportunities for you to realize your potential more than there is at home. In a country like this one, if you read their history, they were not always like this. There used to be famine in this Europe. There used to be all manner of disease, all manner of pestilence, killing people by large numbers. But some people sat down, burned their midnight oil, sacrificed, and built this country. Everywhere in the world, whether America, whether where, some people sat down, sacrificed. So what we are called upon to do as Kenyans is to join hands, to sacrifice, to push ourselves to the limit, to bring around the desired change. And how do we do that? My colleagues and friends have been marketing NARC Kenya. For us, party politics equals the country's politics. If the parties are badly governed, the country will be badly governed, because a government is as good as the political party that forms it. If you look at just before the elections, or even now, but the illustrative period is just before the elections, you all heard about parties denying those who won nominations the certificates, and the party leaders giving it to their cronies or even selling those certificates. You saw the violence in party nominations. I'm not talking about after elections, before elections. People with blood trickling down from their heads or their bodies after they are injured in nominations. A party that espouses violence and corruption and rigging will take all those negatives into government. And because all our parties in different measures had all those negatives, those are the things that were carried on firstly into the general elections, and after that into government. No wonder then that there is corruption in government. No wonder there is violence and lack of respect for human rights. No wonder parties and the government have refused to be democratic. No wonder in this era we are seeing signs of people wanting to anoint and impose heirs to the throne, whether parliamentary or at the top. Yet they talk of democracy. So we are saying, like in computer language, that garbage in, garbage out. Until we build credible parties, let us not hope for good governance in Kenya. We have to have parties that are institutionalized, that are not run by one person. NARC Kenya should not be a karua show. NARC Kenya should be stronger than Martha Karua or any other leader in NARC Kenya. NARC Kenya should be able to survive any of its leadership. Much more the way we see in Tanzania, the Chama cha Mapinduzi is now having the 4th elected president of Tanzania. The way we see in South Africa, ANC, a party that fought for independence, now is having the 3rd president serving. And that is a party, even though I may not believe in the reasons they gave, they unsat a sitting president. because they felt he had deviated from what were their ideals. A party should be that strong. A party should be able to tell a person serving in a position, step aside, you are embarrassing us. When in Kenya, people talk about the recall clause. I don't agree that parliamentarians should be recalled by the electorate, because then you start a cycle of witch hunting. The runner-up in every constituency will be collecting signatures to unseat the incumbent. But if you leave that to a political party, and if the country's rules decree that once you unseat, that party that won can bring in the second person on the list to serve. And even if it's death, you don't have to go to a by-election, the party then supplies the number 2 on the list. The best way to unseat those occupying positions of power without returning a country to elections is by the parties themselves being strong. We have in Kenya the Political Parties Act, which was enacted in 2007 and which I gazetted as the Minister of Justice then in last year in June to start applying on the 1st of July last year. It is applicable, but the Registrar of Political Parties has very poorly applied it. We are now hoping that there is the Interim Independent Electoral Commission. They will supervise and see that it's properly applied so that it strengthens discipline in parties. That is the act that will whip parties to order. If a party does not practice internal democracy, if a party rigs in a nomination, then the Registrar of Political Parties can hear the dispute and can deregister such a party. If a party is involved in bribery or thuggery, violence, it can be deregistered and even stopped from participating in elections. But we have to see that discipline coming now, so that 2 or 3 years down the line when the elections are coming, we will have institutionalized good behavior as parties. Why must police come to the elections of political parties? Because we have taught our supporters and we ourselves as politicians, we are used to total indiscipline. Why there is violence is because we do not respect democracy. We call ourselves democratic without being democratic at all. People fight because you realize you're losing, you get your thugs out to stop the supporters of the next person from voting so that you win by intimidation. Because if we believed in the will of the people, we would not need police to separate us in elections. It should be a very quiet, very orderly affair. So now Kenya is out there preaching this gospel to the electorate so that we form a strong party founded on ideals, a party with discipline, a party that will not tolerate those vices, so that come next general election, we have a grassroots-based party in every corner of the country, because a party, according to the new law, cannot be regional. And now Kenya has no wish to be regional. We believe that we are all human beings. Our needs are similar. Poverty does not choose a tribe or a region. Richness also, or riches, are to be found in every quarter. We do not believe that the most important factor every day when you wake up is your ethnicity. It's your ability to get what you wish to see done. For the poor, it will be ability to put food on the table, ability to pay for shelter, to meet school fees, to meet your daily needs. For those with wealth and business, it's the ability to further your business, to do things for your family. So what drives us is the ability to fend for ourselves and to realize our potential.